Kane, it's 1-0. We're fucking down. 13th in the championship. The takeover happened as I said it would. People will be. Oh, when have we got Leeds? Now then, people, good morning or good afternoon, should I say. Welcome back to the Just Joe football show. And of course, it's time for another Leeds United related video. And what a good time it is to be alive, because we now have our man in charge, Daniel Farke's army. For those that are asking, when was press conference, not seen anything on YouTube? Yes, so it's sort of gone under the radar a little bit because it was sort of like, it's on BBC Sounds. It wasn't like an official press conference. I don't think the club have got time for that. But it was the Leeds United Associated Press. So we had Daniel Farke sat at a table. He was asked questions by Adam Pope, by Phil here, by Graham Smith and Beren Cross. It was about 23 minutes. I will retweet the link, but it's on BBC Sounds. So I've spent this morning, because like you say, you know, I was working till 11. I didn't really have a chance. I only watched the LUTV video, which was about 10 minutes. But this one's 23 minutes, and he's asked questions by the elite Leeds United-based journalists in Graham Smith, Phil here, Adam Pope, and of course, Beren Cross as well. So there was loads in there. Like I say, it's 23 minutes, quite a long one, and he gets really stuck into the fine minutiae details. So I've spent some time this morning listening to that, and as always, give you my reaction and analysis to it. Yeah, no TV license, can't access BBC. I won't tell if you don't, Andy. Don't worry about it. Although what you can do, it's on Twitter. I don't think you need to. You just click it. And it goes straight through. So I don't think you need it, mate, to be honest. But let's chat about it. So we'll get straight into it. As I say, smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, get your comments in, and of course hit that notification bell. Really excited tonight as well, because we're starting our scouting report. We're starting first of all with the goalkeepers and defenders, just to give you a sort of snapshot into what that looks like. I'm just going to quickly share this with you. There you go. You can see there. So I'm really excited there. Some of the players I've never heard of, but listen, Andrea's been busy at work, so we'll be doing the first one tonight, dropping, which will be goalkeepers and defenders. So make sure you keep your eyes out for that. Danny, I'll send you the link, brother. Don't worry about it. But first and foremost, let's get stuck into what he said. So he was asked first and foremost by Adam Pope, kicked us off, and he said to him, look, I understand it's a 4-year deal. You're a manager, not a head coach. What is your role going to be? Obviously, what does that mean? We've heard so many times now that it's a head coach and it's going to be a director of football and all that sort of stuff. But it does sound like that Daniel Farke is going to have quite a good steer on transfers. Clarkey says, no rush on players. We have till the end of August. It will take time to get players in and out. I disagree. And Daniel Farke also disagrees with you, mate, and says it needs to move quickly. And we'll get into what he said. So first and foremost, his first reaction to that question was really happy to be here. Humble about being in an amazing club. He said it's important that we keep working, and we have started later than our rivals. Obviously, like Jamie and others have always said, we are behind. We are behind. We've had less turnaround than the championship as well, because the league finished later. We've also had the issues with regards to the takeover, and Daniel Farke just coming in the door yesterday. This will be the first time out on the pitch today with the players that are involved at the football club. Okay. So he said, you know, we've started later than our rivals, but I'm looking forward to getting to work right now. And this is what he said. And again, just to counteract what Clarkey said, he actually said we need quick decisions for the staff and also the group of players that we have. And he was quite pertinent with this throughout, really saying we need quick decisions. We need to turn it around as quick as possible. So then Adam Pope dialed down on it and said, look, as a manager, will you have a big say on who stays and who goes during the recruitment process? First and foremost, he just came straight out of the back and said, yes, of course I will. I'm responsible. I'm responsible for it now. But he did say, look, nowadays it's not a one-man show anymore. It's not like it used to be. We do have to have lots of conversations, especially with Angus, who he said headed up the recruitment process in terms of bringing in the managers. But he did say, look, we need to work together. We need to be on the same page. He went on and said, but it's less about talking. And it's all about doing now. It's all about action, okay? And he said, and now it's all about doing, and I'm looking forward to getting on the football pitch and getting back to football. He says, I've got clear ideas on what we want to do and how we want to do it. And I'm looking forward to making the first decision. So it sounds like he's chomping at the bit to really start to churn this squad and start to get through it. He was asked about the squad specifically. What about the squad now? Do you have enough? And he said, look, it's too early to talk about individuals. I'm looking forward to meeting them all on the first day on the pitch, which will be today. We'll probably get some videos of that from the football club. So I'm looking forward to that a little bit later on. And he said, it's important for me to have good first impressions. At the start, we'll have a good squad. This is what he said. But the transfer window ends on the final day. Okay, so yes, at the start of the season, 6th of August, in 4 weeks' time, we'll have a good squad. We still might have players sloshing about, you see. You still might have a Sinistera. You still might have a Jack Harrison. But what he says is this transfer window goes right to the end of the final day. And how many times have I said that now already, that if players like that are still available right up until the final day, clubs will take a chance. Because they'll look at it and go, wow, Leeds United still have that Sinistera. We haven't got our first targets. Let's go for him. I'm just using Sinistera as an example. Same with Melia. All these players that it's gone quiet on, because the window ends right at the end, he knows himself. He's been in this position. He's been in this position 2 times, with Norwich getting relegated and then having to prepare for the next season. So he says, yes, at the start of the season, we'll have a good squad, but the transfer window, ends on the final day. He says, we've got a busy 2 months ahead, but I'm confident we will have a good team at the end of it. Okay. He said, we will have a good team at the end of it. Popey then mentioned that they'd spoke to ex-Norwich player Matt Jarvis, who had told them that Leeds players need to expect it to be tough, but also fun. And then Adam Pope asked him about his specific style of play that we saw at Norwich, that we were all enjoying. And will we see that, transitioned over to Leeds United? He went on to say, look, it's my belief that we are all professionals, and for that we have to work hard and we have to be there with fitness. He said, in this division, you need to have outstanding fitness levels. We know Leeds United towards the back end of last season, they were on the floor. They were on the floor fitness-wise. We had a manager that beasted them in Marcelo Bielsa and made them the fittest team in the league, to a guy that came in and went, yeah, they're overtrained. This like sleep pods and that. I'll just make it into a media centre because it's all about me. Don't worry, lads, have days off. I'm pure vibes, man. I'm pure about creating tunes and that. You come in, we'll just play some music, play some ping pong, get you sent off that afternoon and that. All that sort of shit. Doesn't work. Doesn't work at the top level of football. Not anymore. And he said, look, we have to be there with fitness. You need to have outstanding fitness levels to compete. In his opinion, and I don't think it's too different to what a lot of us will think, he said you have to compete in the toughest league in the world. He spoke about Premier League being the best league in the world, but he said the Championship is the toughest, okay? In terms of games played, in terms of cup competitions on top, and of course, 46 games and playing, Saturday, Tuesday. And of course, it's so competitive. The most competitive league in the world, you would argue. Because everybody's got a chance at the start of the season. This isn't like the Premier League where you look at it and go, well, Luton have got no chance. Whereas you could look at, you could genuinely look at the Championship and see Sheff Wednesday that have just come up and other clubs that have just come up and go, you just never know. You just never know. And that's the fact about the Championship, right? But he did say, especially during pre-season, we have to work exceptionally hard to get these fitness levels to an adequate level. But he said, not during just pre-season. We will work hard all year round. Remember, we spoke to Jacob yesterday, who basically said that sometimes they'll be in 2 days, 7 days a week. No rest for the wicked, right? He says, we have to enjoy it, though. You have to enjoy it. It has to be a place that you come in and enjoy going into work, right? Listen, I enjoy my job doing this, you know, and people say, oh, like, if I could do this full time, like, you can never get no grumbles from me. Do you know what I mean? It's amazing being able to sit in this chair. Or, you know, imagine being a sports journalist, whatever. You enjoy going into work, right? And that's half of the battle. If you can get a job where you enjoy, and this is what I mean. I think towards the end, the Big Sam mentioned this, the players, it wasn't a fun place to be. And of course, that doesn't help when you, it's never going to be a fun place to be when you're losing games, is it? Let's be honest, like, for the last 2 seasons, all we've done is really lose games of football. So it's not been great. But he did say we have to enjoy it, though. And have a special philosophy. And he said, I don't like to speak too much on it, though. You know, I want to show it. Again, all about action. Not about this. Not about vibes. Not about telling us everyone's the best thing since sliced bread. The best player you've ever worked with. The best captain you've ever had. This is the best training facilities that I've ever used. All that sort of tripe that we heard. He doesn't want to speak about it. He wants to show you action. I want to show you it on the football pitch. And he said that's more important, you know. He said we will need to be quick to reach the head and the hearts of the players to build unity. And we're going to hear that a lot. And you'll see over the next coming days, over the next hours, that heads rolling at Ellen Road. I have it on on a very, very good source that Peter, listen, I feel almost bad here. I put a tweet out saying the axe is being wielded and all that sort of stuff. And I almost feel like I felt bad. I almost deleted it because people are losing their jobs. But this is my football club. And this football club has been run like a shit show for a while now. Even when we were Premier League, how many times have you heard me say Premier League as a club, League One behind the scenes? Okay. Now I have it on very, very good. A very, very good source, and we're seeing a lot of tweets come out from players that have left today. But I have it from a very, very good source. Someone that actually works at the football club, if I'm being totally honest. But, you know, that's neither here nor there. But all the analysts, football-related staff in the office, those that were making decisions, have been told it's game over. It's game over. Okay, heads have rolled, the axe has been wielded, and I think some of them have arrived to work this morning to be told you're no longer needed. Okay, and it's needed to happen. It's been a bit like, but listen, at the end of the day, and this is why, in a sense, I don't feel that bad. We had a guy that's running the Leeds United Foundation, who is going into inner cities and going into places that are run down, that'll be short of funding. That need support, and this guy's been done for bullying, man. This is the kind of shit that's going down, right? Many heads will roll, Damar. I'm assuming that'll be next, but it all depends on contractual issues with that one, I think. But look, I think it was needed. And it's clear that Daniel Farke has heard things. You know, we know that it's been a shit show behind the scenes for quite some time. And it needed to change. You know, Radrazani had hold of the football club, but left it to people. It was almost like someone's just said in the chat, like a boys' club, old boys' club dismantled. Okay, so yes, I feel sorry for those that are going to have to find, you know, new jobs, etc. And I understand it in this climate. I've lost my job in the past. You know, I've been made redundant. It's hard, and I feel sorry in that respect. But people. Yeah, it needs a shake-up. It needs a shake-up from top to bottom. And I think we're getting that. Like I say, analysts, office football-related staff, etc. have all been told, that's it. It's game over. Goodbye. Okay? And he spoke about this, you know, because he spoke about unity throughout. And he didn't just mention the playing staff. This is the point. He didn't just mention the playing staff. Okay? He mentioned staff. He mentioned people behind the scene. Okay. Matty Boy says, sad to see Marcus go. Marcus Abad. He's a down-to-earth guy. Did a lot for my lad in goalkeeping. That's good to hear, as I say, but I think we did need change. And I don't know much about Marcus Abad, other than he was a goalkeeping coach. And I'm seeing a lot of tweets in support of him and all that sort of stuff. And listen, good luck to them all. Good luck to them all, as I say. I hope they go on and have great careers. But we needed change. Okay, and changes afoot, but we'll see in it. And he said we have to work quick to reach the head and the hearts of the players to build unity and a group, and hopefully, we will make our fans proud. He spoke a lot about the fans as well. You can see what he's trying to do. He's about creating, connections and bringing us all back together. And I agree with you, Jamie. Being a nice guy isn't enough. It's all about being able to do your job. And I don't think that's been happening, to be honest, for quite some time. Look, he was then asked about the backroom staff. Will you have the same backroom staff? We know Andrea, big up Andrea Russo. He's Andrea Russo, as I say, is he whittles down to the fine minutiae. We know about his backroom staff already, but we'll see what Daniel Farke had to say. Hannah Lucy, bang on the money, said it's well overdue, this though. We ain't a charity case, as awful as that sounds. 100%. We need to move on now. We are a huge club and we need to be ran like we are wanting to progress and push on. Exactly. You are bang on the money, and this is the point that we're making about as being a Premier. Listen, I heard things, man. Mad. Some of the stuff that was going down, letting fans abroad because they were supporting, just mad stuff, man. Mad stuff. The Premier League couldn't wait to see the back of us. How quick was it that we got booted out of that American tour? Trust and believe. No reasons why. We know about people who had agreed to speak to players or people that work at the club, and then you had some idiot last minute coming in and saying, nah, you're not doing that. Don't do that, because his ego was too big to say, how dare you speak to a player who wants to do a video on your channel? You come from me. I'm the boss. Like, who are you? Like, what are you doing? Do you know what I mean? This is Leeds United. You're not even a Leeds United fan half years. This is what pissed me off so much. When I'm speaking from my own shit here, and I know when you get stick as a fan of your own football club for having opinions, okay, I get it. It's part of the animal and all that sort of stuff, and I can't really complain. It is what it is. But when you also see fans up the ass, and I mean literally up the ass of some of these people that work for the football club that don't even support Leeds United and are just there to pick up a wage, going, oh my God, what a trio, what a gang, what a guys. Like, fuck off. That's what I genuinely believe. I will never forget that fans of this football club, did work free of charge, not even free of charge, on the hope that, right, you will be paid. If Leeds United came to me tomorrow and said, Joe, we want you to create content. They're not going to happen, but if they did, and we're going to pay you, but do you mind doing it first without? Yeah, of course. You would jump at the chance. Anyone would, because it's in our blood, right? This is what I'm saying. It means so much to us as fans. This is the point I'm making. It means so much, right? To then do that work and to then not be paid and have emails ignored and messages ignored from a Premier League football club. Insane. So heads needed to roll. The axe needed to be wielded. And hopefully more will come. We'll hear more. We'll hear more. Like I say, the 49ers will run this like a professional outfit. And that's what it needs. So back to the backroom staff. Sorry, I went on a bit of a rant. He said, yes, I bring all my backroom staff with me. We are all moving together as a group. I have to lead the group of not only the players, but the staff too. And he mentioned this a lot. There you go, Jamie. Jamie knows a guy that done some camera work and didn't get paid for 2 months. Insanity. That's what it is. It is what it is. Okay, so listen, I remember doing some, and I weren't expected to be paid, by the way. I wasn't expected to be paid, but I did something for them, and I was skint. I got a megabus. I walked from. That's what I mean. I got a megabus to Leeds and then walked from Leeds. And I'm not expecting to be paid for that. But it's just what I'm saying is, like, I had an opportunity to go. I was like, yeah, 100%. I would love to. and I got interviewed inside in my seat, you know, because everything was gravy, and they liked me at that point because I was only ever positive about the football club because Marcelo Bielsa was there. But he was hiding all the shit behind the scenes. Now, I not got a cat in hell's chance, but I'm not going to stand there and dilute my thoughts. That's the only thing in it. You can only, if you're employed by the football club, you can only say too much. I know certain individuals that are employed by the football club that used to speak to people, that used to do certain channels, and then when you speak to them and ask them, and they say, "Oh, no, I'm not allowed anymore." You know what I mean? Not allowed. Like, it's mad. I think we'll see a switch when the 49ers come in. I do. I think we'll see more engagement with fans and more things like that. I do believe that. But we'll wait and see, innit? We'll wait and see. He said, look, I have to lead the group, not only the players, but the staff too. And he mentioned 30 players, which again was good, which was nice to hear, because he said, you know, 30 players. He mentioned 30-odd players. Well, we've had a small squad for quite some time. We were told it was Marcelo Bielsa, but if we're being totally honest, it was Victor Orr. It was Victor Orr. It was Radrazani not wanting to spend money. But he mentioned 30 players, but he did all mention the staff. He said, you all need to be on the same page. You need that. You need unity and the trust. All of us can bring success, okay? All of us can bring success back to Leeds United. Do you see what I'm saying? So he's talking about trust and unity within the group, and now all of us can bring success back to Leeds United. It was clear that wasn't happening. No one was running in the or moving in the same direction. He was asked about a director of football. Director of football soon to be appointed. You're working with Nick Hammond right now. How's that going? He said, yes, we've had some good convos. We spoke about the quad. We spoke about the squad intensively. After relegation, there will be a hangover, and the group right now won't be the same group that we have in August. Okay, so we need good decisions. We need good decisions with outgoings, but also incomings. And he said, Nick Hammond and myself will be pivotal in that. Okay, and it's important that we don't just start today, that we've already started. And he said, we have already spoken quite intensively about this, and now it's official, we can start to make decisions. So we're going to see things happen quickly. You know, this is important. He said, we're not just going to start today because I've only just signed today. We've already had conversations. And now it's official, we can start to make decisions. We are going to, you know, work intensively together and start to make decisions. I come back to that point. Yes, the transfer window ends in August, but expect signings to be made and quick. Players to come through the door, to get on board. You know, we'll talk about the YUP's article after we've gone through this presser, but there's money there to be spent. And I'm expecting them to come in. I don't think, as Angus would say, we're dicking around with the playoffs. I think Leeds United are going to mean business. Now, Farke did temper expectations, but he's going to do that. He's a methodical guy, right? He's a methodical guy. He thinks things through. He's not going to come out here and say, yes, we will win promotion. But I think the back of his mind, he probably thinks we will. He knows it'll be tough, but he thinks we will. And he did say on his relationship with Nick Hammond, it's a good relationship so far. So far, so good. Right? Joe Barron says, finally feeling positive about our club again. Exactly, mate. Exactly. I think even last season, I remember, because I have to sometimes check myself, because I am bipolar, Joe. You know this, right? I'm up and down. And I remember my reaction to Jesse, the new era. We stayed up, and I got carried away with the transfers, etc. Because it was exciting. We were bringing in Brendan Aronson, we were bringing in Tyler Adams. We were linked to a host of players. But always in the back of my mind was that thing of like, we're not good, though. You know, we're not good. We still had that hangover from the previous season. I'll never forget that Bournemouth game, Brentford game. We nearly threw that away. Let's not forget. I don't care. 9 men, man. We nearly threw it away. It was insane. It was insane. And clutch player Rafinha helped us out, and then Harrison, obviously, big moments. But now, like's just been said, I do feel it. I do feel it. when he went through the interview process, he was asked, what did you want to hear from Angus and Parag to make you want the job? Okay. And again, it comes back to that unity that he continuously spoke about. He said it's important that everyone is on the same page, owners and the board. We need to get a feeling for each other and ensure we share the same visions. Yeah. Ensure we shared the same vision, medium and long term. We need to have trust. Again, comes that word. We need to have trust. We need to have unity. We need to have togetherness, ensuring we are all on the same page. And that includes fans. And he spoke about that. Fans, board, players. We need to bring it back. Bring it back. S Club 7 settings. Bring it all back to you. Bring it all back now. Do you know what I mean? That's what we did have under the great man Marcelo. He said, we got a really good feeling over the last few weeks. And the more I learned about the people here who are now responsible for the future of the football club, the better the picture was painted. And I wanted to come here and I wanted to work here. Yeah. And that's important to hear. Darren Smith says, afternoon, Joe. Caught a live stream at last. Good. I'm glad, Darren. I try to be as live as often as I can, depending on the news. You all enjoy the content. I enjoy creating it, and yeah, it's one day we'll do it full time. You'll want to see the back of me by then, I'd imagine. So then he was asked about. I think this was Graham Smith. I think Adam Pope got a lot of questions compared to the rest, but he was asked about Norwich City now by Graham Smith. So he said, Norwich City promotion took a while first time around, but what did you love? What did you learn at that club with the two promotions that you had? And he said, in general, you learn every game. Obviously, I know this league inside out now, which he does, right? There's only been two coaches that have won this twice, and that's Mick McCarthy and Daniel Farke. So he's right up there in having knowledge of winning this league. This is facts, yeah? So he said, in general, you learn every game. Obviously, I know this league inside out. I've spent 5 years in England now, and I know what is necessary to operate in this league. This is why he was the best man for the job. Yeah, Patrick Vieira was never that guy. He's coming in. Yeah, he might have had aura and all that sort of stuff. But Daniel Farke's been there, done it. Tried and tested. He said, as we touched on earlier, this league is by far the toughest as everyone is fighting. So many games you have to deliver every 3 days. It's a marathon, not a sprint. It's a good experience what happened at Norwich, because for him, and I think this is where he needs to flip it. He said, you get used to losing games. And I think Leeds United are used to losing games. How many times did we see last season that as soon as we went one down, as soon as teams got back on level terms with us, if we went in front, we folded like a cheap suit. We folded like a deck chair. It's facts, okay? I'm not playing mind games. I'm speaking facts. Yeah?
It's a fact. I am not playing mind games. I am talking about facts.
So he said you get used to losing games. So it's important that we get that winning mentality back, okay? And winning has to become a habit again. And we have to create this attitude and ensuring that this atmosphere is very important. We have to create that winning mentality. Because, again, I love the Fulham frankness. He said, let's be honest, the last 2 years, they haven't been easy for this football club. And what I found mad, and I don't know what you folks think, it was almost like he was here. And the reason I say that is because he kept saying we, as though he was culpable for the last 2 years. Do you know what I mean? Like saying, let's be honest, last 2 years haven't been easy for us. We have to change the mentality to a winning one again. It was like he was sort of like, here, we. And I love that about it, man, And not even he, but it is what it is. He said, let's be honest, last 2 years haven't been easy for this club, and we have to change the mentality to a winning one. And my experience in English football will help that. Let's be honest, I know we got battered, but Norwich got far worse batterings than us. Luis Suarez used to score hat tricks for fun, didn't he, back in the day? But what I'm saying is, yes, we lost games, but so did they, and he was able to turn that around. He was able to turn that around. Baron Cross then asked him, for those that want the press conference, I'll put it in the chat, folks. I will put it in the chat at the end. It was on BBC Sounds. It went under the radar. It wasn't anything official from the club, but it was just him sat, I think, in Ellen Road, and there was Baron Cross, Adam Pope, Phil here, and Graham Smith. Okay, so I'll put it in the chat for you. I'm not going to do it until the end, though, because I want you to listen to me first, all right? You know how it works, folks, but I'll put it in, I will. I'm only joking. But you've got to promise to listen to me first. If I see the views go down, I'll be unhappy with you. Nah, just give me 1 sec. For those that haven't seen it, I'll put it in the chat. I'm going to retweet it as well, folks. I'll retweet it for you now as well, because it was on BBC West Yorkshire page. It's in the chat as well. So it's like a 23 minutes conversation. So Baron Cross asked him, like, what was your pitch? You know, obviously the club went through through a thorough process to get their man. We know that it was long-winded. He said, what was your pitch? And I like what he said. He backs himself. You know, he turned around and said, I didn't do an advertisement of myself. They had to convince me to take the job. I know it's a huge club. That part didn't have to attract me. You know, so many managers would have just walked through the door because it's Leeds United. Or even if they didn't, they'd be telling us, like Big Sam did, you know, you can't turn this club down. It's Leeds United. But Daniel Farke come out and said, you know, they had to convince me. I'll be honest with you. They had to convince me. He said, I know it's a huge club. That part they didn't have to attract me on. And I have a soft spot for this club. I loved hearing him talk about this because he said, I remember specifically a game here against Norwich. And I'm always, he's always asked when he was in Germany, what's the best atmosphere in England? And everyone expects him to say or speak about the Big Six. But he says, I always mention Ellen Road. Do you know what I mean? Which was class. And he said, no one has had to convince me about the potential or size of the club. I just needed to be convinced that the key people at the football club were all on the same page. Everyone knows about my brand of football, and I told them what I needed to be done to make it successful. So he's made demands. So he should. We're going to need to spend this. We're going to need to overhaul this. And they've agreed to it. But he said the most important topic for him in terms of taking the job was that the key people had the same vision as him. And like he mentioned, that picture being painted, after all them discussions, he said, this is an exciting project for me, both in the medium, short term, long term, and I'm ready to get going, okay? So Baron again then asked about the state of the squad, because obviously we know the season starts in literally a month. It's now the 6th of July. Oh, no, sorry, it's the Wednesday, the 5th. But the championship season starts on the 5th. We don't play to the 6th, but it's a month away, right? The game against Manchester United is just 7 days away, literally a week. So what's your initial thoughts on the squad? And he said, look, it's not the right time now. You know, we have to have the right decisions on the staff. Again, not playing staff, on the staff, as some have already left. And then he went and said, we need to have unity to ensure everyone wants the same things and everyone is 100% behind everything we do. That tells me that they weren't. That tells me that the people there before weren't. Why is he making that? Why is he making them? Why is he willing to come in and overhaul the whole lot of it? Because he's heard things, surely. He knows things, surely. So for him to come in and say, we have to have the right decisions, and he ain't even talking about players here. He said on staff. Some have already left. We need to have unity to ensure everyone wants the same things and everyone is 100% behind everything we do. He then said, with the playing staff, so then he moved it on. So there is definite, separation between them two. He said, with the playing staff, what's being said? What's being said in the chat? Why is everyone... Oh, okay. We need to go with the playing staff. We need to involve players. And I love this. He said, and on the playing staff, we need to involve players who are determined and greedy to defend this white shirt, to give everything in every game and win points and make the fans proud. Yeah. I even think There's question marks over the players that were here who we know are going to be leaving. I would put Robin Flaccid in that. Definitely Weston McKennie. There's some players that don't care, you know. And he said, we need to involve players who are determined. This is why he gives youth such a chance for me. This is why he brings through youth 11 players at Norwich. But he said, we need to involve players who are determined and greedy to defend this white shirt and who will go into every game to win points and make the fans proud. He said, we need to make good decisions to create unity within this group. Okay. And again, I put in brackets here, I thought about the Pontus situation. We all love Pontus Jansson. I don't think he was as good as some Leeds fans thought he was, but we all loved him. But he was upsetting the apple cart at Leeds United. He was telling players we should return later than we should. And they bombed him out, which was a shock to us. And they brought in Ben White, a youngster, to create that unity. It's a similar sort of vibe. So those that are making question marks about the old guard, you might see some of them go. You genuinely might see some of them go. I don't think heads will roll just in the office kind of stuff, that kind of stuff. I think we'll genuinely see changes in the squad that might surprise us as well. He said we need to work on fitness levels too. We are behind other clubs because we had to start late. He said, I will not complain though, and we take this. And right now we need to make good decisions. I keep talking about right now and the speed. I think things will happen quickly at Leeds United. Nothing will be perfect in 4 weeks. Again, tempering expectations. I think we can all agree with that. And he said we need to create a solid foundation. And the longer the season goes, the better we will be as Leeds United, you know? And I think that's key, isn't it? That to be fair, as long as we're aware and he's telling us, and he is quite honest, and he is saying to us, look, it might be ropey, but stick with us because by the end of the season, you will see the fully formed Leeds United. I've got a feeling it might start quicker than he's telling us, but he's just tempering expectations. I agree, Jamie, and I think he'll bin that straight in. I was really surprised that Big Sam kept it, to be honest. He went, I've spoken with the leadership group. I think Daniel Farke could go, no leadership group. I'm the boss. I'm the manager. No head coach. I'm the manager. You will do as you're told. Now run up that hill. And I'll see you again at 4 o'clock to run up the hill again. Do you know what I mean? Good. Yeah. So he was then, I think Phil here then came in and said, yeah, look, how difficult will it be in 4 weeks? He said, yeah, it will be. But it's better to be honest and transparent, you know? And he did say this, and again, tempering expectations, and said much less than 50% of teams that get relegated bounce straight back. Okay. We had a difficult season last year. And this is when he spoke about as though he was here. He said, we had a difficult season last year. And if we're honest, the season before wasn't great either. You get used to losing, and we need to make winning a habit again. You have to keep emotions in check. Don't get too... He doesn't know me, obviously, but he did say you have to keep emotions in check because you've got to win game after game after game. You've got to keep going in this league because, as we know, it's Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, Tuesday. He said it's a huge task, but this club has one special thing. One special thing. He says we have the best supported team in this whole league. I don't disagree. That's why everyone hates us. I seen a video last night of Preston North End fans on holiday singing, "We all hate Leeds scum." This is Preston North End. They're on holiday. Why are you singing that song? Why do you dislike us? Like, it's a Preston. Not disrespect to Preston, but why? They don't even know why. But they're on holiday singing, "We all hate Leeds scum." I don't understand it, but this is what I'm saying. Because it's envious. It's jealousy. It's jealous. That's all it is. We are the big team in this league. Do you know what I mean? No, we know that, you know. As Rafa would say.
It's a fact. I am not playing mind games. I am talking about facts.
Exactly. So, again, tempering expectations. He did say, I expect a bumpy start, but during this time, we need our fans even more, and we need even bigger unity. Better than we ever had to keep the train going. He's getting us on side in. And I, as a fan, will temper that. You know, I'll watch as if we don't get a winning start against Cardiff and look a bit shaky. It will be a case of it's work in progress. And the thing is, in the Championship, I'm not saying I want this to happen, but you can afford sometimes to lose some games because at any moment you can go from the bottom of that division to the top of that division. We've seen it many, many times. We've seen it at Middlesbrough. We've seen it with Carlos Corberan and both stints at Huddersfield and West Brom. You can go on a win and a run of 3, 4, 5 games and you can be in the playoffs again. You know, this is facts. I'm not saying... So, if we don't get off to the best start, just know that by the end of the season, we will have, you know, the fully fledged Farke ball and we're going to win the league. Don't worry about it. Then Phil here asked about him. How much did you speak about doing this in 1 year? How much did you speak about doing this in 1 year? And he said, we didn't speak about this. And I think that's good as well. You know, he's not setting unrealistic targets, setting unrealistic goals. He probably has it in the back of his mind, but there's more important things to him. You know, he said it's more important to talk about the vision in the medium and the long term. You know, this is a club that belongs in the Premier League. He said this. I'm 100% convinced it is an established Premier League club. We have a great history in doing this. He spoke about legends, players, etc. Didn't name them, but just said you have, or this club has created legends. He actually said we, yeah. We have created legends. We have created games, etc. But he said, if we're honest, the last 2 decades, the last 20 years, it's not been great. And again, I like that honesty. He said, you know, you've had 16 years out of the Premier League, by one great season under Marcelo. Yeah, that's it. And that is true. That is true. Yeah. So in the last 20 years, we've spent 3 seasons in the Premier League and only one of them have been good. And again, it comes back with that realism, you know. So he says, you know, right now we do not have a right to be in the Premier League. And I think sometimes, you know, some fans have a false idea of where Leeds United are. I'm aware that I get giddy, but there's some fans who say, oh, Daniel Farke's a disappointing appointment. It's underwhelming. Or why are we going for this player? We should be going for that player. And it's like, no, come on. You have to be realistic. And I think he's showing us that because in the last 20 years, we've only spent 3 seasons in the Premier League. And if we're being honest, only one of them was good. So he said, right now, we do not have a divine right to be a Prem team. Okay. But we want to do this. We want to do this. And we have the potential with the fans, the city, the area, the club to be significant in that division. Okay. He said, if we're honest, there are more clubs in the Championship that have spent more time than us in the Premier League than we have in the last 20 years. True. You know, even West Brom spent more time in the Premier League. Norwich spent more time in the Premier League than us in the last 20 years. Middlesbrough, maybe, you know, in the last 20 years. We was down in League One, languishing, you know. So he said it is going to be challenging. Let's not kid ourselves. And I can't tell you how quick it will be for us to be back. But obviously, I wish we could do it in 1 or 2 days because I can't wait to be back in the top level. But I'm realistic and know it will be tough this season. Again, tempering expectations, being honest, okay? He says, my gut feeling about this club is they are, you know, and he spoke about the fans here. He said, the fans, the people, they're hardworking, they're realistic. They know we have to achieve it step by step with hard work, you know? And again, he mentioned about doing it on the pitch. No more talking. It's all about doing it on the pitch. Very Bielsa-esque, in my opinion. Okay. He says, my experience with Leeds fans, they just want players to work hard and play with bravery and courage and work their socks off. That's all we ask, right? Last season, we didn't get that. That's why certain players got battered as much as they did because they didn't look like there was even having a go. Okay. And again, he said, look, sometimes in football, you can be dominant. You can hit the post, crossbar. You can have tons of shot. And your opposition might have 1 shot on goal and they'll win the game. This is football. But he said, these fans have a good feeling and an understanding of the game that the players left everything out on the pitch. You know? So sometimes you might lose a game. But if you... We've seen it so many times under Bielsa. And I think this is what he's getting at. You know, the fans understand it because Leeds United at times were unreal. You can forget that Wigan game where we battered Wigan for 9 minutes. We just couldn't score. Yeah, but ban the spammers. I don't know what he's on about. Just keep saying that it's boring. But just mute it, and if he does it again, just ban him because it's just boring, isn't it? I don't even get what he's getting from that. To be honest, Leeds are going to win this, and this. We've basically won all them things anyway about the Champions League, bro. So it is what it is. he said, we need to create this again, that atmosphere with my team, with the coaching staff. We need to create this unity again. The success in the past with Leeds is when we have that great unity, and we want to make our fans proud, and the table will sort itself. You know, again, coming back to that thing of less talking, more doing, putting hard work in, leaving everything on the pitch. That means results will come naturally and we'll climb up the table. We'll win this bloody league at the first time of asking. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's flexing on Leicester. Do not sleep on Daniel Farke's HMS Pistol League. Right, block this Airwolf guy for me, please. Now he's boring. So he was then asked about how much did it matter to him for him to be an established Premier League manager, right? And this was Phil here. I thought it was a good question, and of course the league or Leeds United to be an established Premier League club, and I think his answer was bob on. He says, "Look, myself and the club are on the same page. Okay, we both have to prove it that we are Premier League. Okay." Like I said, in the last 2 decades, the last 20 years, Leeds are not that. 3 seasons out of 20. Him himself has not proven it. That's a lot of what Leeds fans are saying in terms of he shouldn't be there. You know, he's not Premier League, he fails, etc. Now, there is context on this. And he says, look, me and the club are both on the same page. We have to prove it. And he said, look, with Norwich, let's be honest. The side, and he said, I have to be respectful, but he said the side wasn't a Premier League side. I love them, but come on. You know, the team wasn't there. He said we had issues with COVID. We'd played 29 games. We had 21 points. He said even that was a shock for him. Even that was a shock with the squad that he had, and he had a little chuckle. So you can tell he knows. And I think the club knew at that time that they didn't have enough. And he said, I want to be respectful, but we were never a Premier League squad, and we were never prepared for it. And that was him being honest about. And I think we have to remember that as well. It'd be interesting to see if he does get promoted, what he'd be like when he does have money. Because let's be honest, as we heard from Jacob the other day, make sure you check him out, Canary Cast. They had 5 million to spend the first season. That is insane. It's like me trying to do a weekly shop on £5. It's not happening, is it? I'm getting a pack of biscuits and, I don't know, a pack of crisps. And that's it. And maybe a loaf of bread. And I can have crisp sandwiches all week. That's what's happening. Do you know what I mean? So, and then even the second season when they spent 60, that was because they'd sold Buendia. Otherwise, they don't have that money. You know what I mean? So, yeah, look, he said we were never a Premier League squad or prepared for it. He also mentioned Stuart Webber because he said Stuart Webber said some more controversial things. And he said, you have to, you know, in today's world, you have to watch what you say. But basically, he said Stuart Webber said they went to the Premier League with no tools. With no tools, they weren't ready for it and they didn't have the money for it. So the fact that they did it on 2 occasions is a testament really to Farke. He mentioned, obviously, after coronavirus as well, we played the last 9 games with no fans and we had no chance without any fans. We didn't get any points. So, yes, I haven't worked at an established club in the Premier League at that level. And that's one of the reasons he came to Leeds United. He said, what attracts me most isn't winning this league again. And that's good. That shows the ambition of the man. He said, what attracts me most isn't winning the championship. Of course, I want to do it. It was amazing. But I want to become established in the Premier League. And that is what I'm most looking forward to. And I thought that was quite good, you know, that he said, I'm not here to win the championship. Yeah, it's amazing. It's good. It'd be nice to do it. But I'm here to establish myself and this football club as a Premier League club. And I love that. I do love that. Okay. Now, let's go to let's have a look at what's and that was his full press conference. Like I said, it's on BBC Sounds. If you want to listen to it, it's 23 minutes long. I think it has gone under the radar for a lot of people. I know I missed it initially as well. So I've retweeted it. I'll also put it in the chat for you as well. Like I said, this is just my reaction to what he said, analysis and reaction to it. Now, what's been a key point that's been put together by the YEP. I just want to share this with you because it's exciting, you know. This is the Yorkshire Evening Post reported that Farke will be handed an aggressive wage bill on top of significant or sufficient transfer funds to aid Leeds' push for promotion. We're not going to mess about. He's going to have money to spend. Say what you want about Marcelo's time. He didn't really ever get that for me. He didn't really ever get that. Okay. So Daniel Farke and Leeds United are going to be aggressive with the wage bill, and he will have sufficient transfer funds to aid Leeds United's push for promotion. That's really good to hear it coming from the YEP as well, right? So there we go. There it is in black and white. They'll have been told that information, right? Farke to be backed heavily in the transfer market. Leeds may not be able to sign players until they have the takeover by the EFL, who were unable to provide the club with the time frame on Monday. But once that goes through, as expected, Leeds' new owners will hand Farke a healthy budget as they target an immediate return to the Premier League. So that's really exciting to hear. It's music to my ears, right? Okay, we're going to see a lot leave. We're going to see a lot come in. It's going to be exciting. And we tonight, when I finish work again at 11, apologies, but we still got quite a lot in last night, so big up to you for joining us. We'll be doing a bit of a scouting mission on potential incomings for Leeds United. We're looking at goalkeepers and defenders tonight as well. Okay, the scouting mission is on. We'll then be looking at midfielders on Thursday and strikers on Friday. Okay, so keep it locked at the Just Joe Football Show. Join us tonight. Myself, Lockie, and Andrea will be looking at potential incomings for Leeds United, who we could target. And I'm not lying to you. The list is huge. The list is huge. I've actually had to say to Andrea, can we just focus on 5? We just focus on 5. Otherwise, we'll be there till Friday, still talking about goalkeepers. So listen, there's over 700 in the house. Great numbers today. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel. Go check out that press conference. Although it wasn't an official, that's what it was, right? He had all the Leeds Associated Press. I guess he didn't want no fanfare. He just wants to get to work. No doubt we'll see clips come from the football club today as well, on the grass, on the pitch, playing football. Can't wait. Can't wait. Listen, smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm off to work from 5 till 11, and I will see you all this evening. Peace out.